Hello, children. So, this is the first session of the new chapter that I'm going to start with you now. That is chemistry in everyday life. This chapter is the 16th chapter in organic chemistry. And, children, this chapter we are going to study about drugs and medicines. So, we are going to study different kind of drugs in this chapter and their physiological action and the examples of such drugs. So, before starting, let us understand what are drugs and medicines. So, drugs are basically the chemical substances of low molecular weight which have certain physiological effect on our body. Now, if the drugs they treat a disease, then these drugs are known as medicine. So, the different class of drugs that we have in our syllabus is we are going to study them, their examples. The first one is antacid. So, as the name suggests, antacid. So, they are used to relieve acidity. So, when we eat certain food which is difficult to digest, our body starts secreting excess of acid. Our stomach starts secreting excess of HCl, and because of which the pH in our stomach comes down and it causes acidity. So, to remove this excess acid, these antacids are taken. These antacids are actually the mild bases, they are very weak bases which neutralize the acid in our body and causes relief. Now, the basic mild bases that are used as antacids are magnesium hydroxide, aluminium hydroxide gel, sodium bicarbonate. So, these are the mild bases that are used to relieve acidity. However, these basic substances which are taken as antacid, they are not the permanent solution for the acidity. Nowadays, the different drugs like cimetidine or ranitidine, which is commonly known as Zentec, are used as antacids because they not only neutralizes the excess acid, but they also cause the release of lesser amount of acid. And this is how they cause the permanent relief from the acid. So you have to learn the different examples of antacids. Second class of drugs that we are going to study is antihistamines. Now, these antihistamines are actually anti-allergic drugs. You know, certain people have certain allergy by dust or due to pollen grains or maybe due to some kind of fur. So, all these allergy causing elements, they are called antigens. Now, these antigens, these are the ones which are responsible for causing allergy in the body. Now, these antigens, they may be airborne or indigested with the food. Now, these antigens, when they enter in our body, they trigger the formation of antibodies in our body which fights with these antigens. Now, how do they work is that these antibodies which are produced in our body due to the antigens, they bind with these antigens, and together both of them, the antigens and the antibodies produced in our body, they bind together with special cells in our body which are called mast cells. When they both combine with the mast cells or attach themselves to the mast cells, they release a chemical known as histamine. Now, these histamine, this chemical which is released in the cells, is actually responsible for generating the allergic responses like asthma, tissue inflammation, etc. So, these antihistamines, they actually work against this chemical histamine and relieves from allergy. So these drugs, these are used to combat the allergic effects of histamine and are called antihistamines. The different examples of antihistamines are brompheniramine, which is also called as Dimetapp, the chlorpheniramine, promethazine. These two, brompheniramine and chlorpheniramine, they are generally used in the cough syrups and all, right? So these are antihistamines. You have to learn their physiological action, how do they work, and you have to also learn certain examples of these drugs. The third classification under this category is neurologically active drugs. The third kind of drugs that we will study is neurologically active drugs. Now, as the name suggests, neurologically active drugs. So these drugs actually affect the nervous system of our body. They actually affect the message transfer mechanism from nerve to the receptor. So they affect the nervous system of the body. Now, these neurologically active drugs are broadly classified into two types. Number one, tranquilizers and analgesics. So, neurologically active drugs could be either tranquilizers or they could be analgesics. Tranquilizers are those neurologically active drugs which affect the nervous system, and they are used in the people who face stress or mental disease. The people who are suffering from some kind of depression under certain mental problem, to them these tranquilizers are given. Tranquilizers are actually very important constituents of sleeping pills also. So they may be called antidepressant drugs. These antidepressant drugs, which are used during the mental stress, they are also actually the derivatives of barbituric acid. Barbituric acid is a important organic compound. So the generally tranquilizers are the derivatives of this barbituric acid. They have the main component as barbituric acid in them. Certain examples of barbiturates are veronal, amytal, etc. These veronal, amytal, or barbituric acid derivatives also have sleep producing effect in them, and so they are called hypnotic drugs also. Hypnotic means sleep producing drugs. Apart from them, certain tranquilizers are also non hypnotic. These drugs, which are non hypnotic, that means they are helpful in relieving the stress or mental disease, but they do not cause sleep. And these drugs are meprobamate or Equanil. So you will learn the examples of tranquilizers. The second classification of neurologically active drugs is analgesics. Now, analgesics also relieve pain. Like tranquilizers, they also are helpful in stress and mental disease. They also relieve pain, but they do not cause any kind of mental confusion or incoordination or paralysis or some other kind of disorder in the body. They simply relieve pain. Further, analgesics may be of two types: non narcotic drugs and narcotic drugs. The non narcotic are those analgesics which do not cause any kind of addiction in the body. That means once the person take them, he is not addicted to these non-narcotic drugs. Example is aspirin. So aspirin is a very good non-narcotic analgesic which relieves pain without causing any mental confusion or incoordination in the body. Other example of non-narcotic drug is paracetamol also, ibuprofen and Novalgin. Now aspirin is a very good analgesic. It relieves the pain as well as it has certain other properties also. Aspirin is also a anti-blood clotting agent. So it is useful in preventing the heart attack also. At the same time, it is also toxic for the body. It is toxic mainly to the liver and also may cause the bleeding of stomach. So aspirin is nowadays banned in India and in many other countries. However, it is a very good analgesic which is used in heart attacks, in preventing the heart attack. So it is an example of a non-narcotic drug. Under the analgesics comes another category which is narcotic, that is the addiction causing drugs. Now, these drugs also relieve pain in the body, but at the same time, they cause addiction in the body. They cause unconsciousness in the person and relieve pain. The person gets addicted to them, and so they are not better option of relieving pain. Example of narcotic drugs are morphine, heroin, marijuana. So you know these are the drugs which cause addiction in the body, and so they are not good analgesics. They should not be taken. Another examples of the drugs are antipyretics. So we just studied neurologically active drugs, one class of drugs which is further divided into two: tranquilizers and analgesic. Analgesic is further divided into non-narcotic and narcotic type. Now we come to another classification of the drugs, that is antipyretics. Now, these antipyretics are those drugs which bring down the body temperature. That is, they are used in bringing down the fever of the person. Now, how do they act is that they affect the hypothalamic center of our body. Hypothalamic center is the center of our body which is responsible for maintaining temperature of the body. So these antipyretics, they affect the hypothalamic center of the body and activates the dilation of the peripheral blood vessels. This causes perspiration in the body, and this helps in the body to lose heat, and this is how the temperature comes down. You know, certain examples of antipyretics is paracetamol. It is the best example of antipyretic drug which is used in relieving or is helpful in bringing down the fever. Another classification of drugs is antimicrobials. The next classification is antimicrobials. As the name suggests, these antimicrobials are the drugs which are used to cure diseases caused by certain microorganisms like bacteria, virus, fungus, etc. Now, these antimicrobials are also categorized into three kinds. Number one, antibiotics. Number two, antiseptics. And number three, disinfectants. So let us first study what are antibiotics. So antibiotics are actually those antimicrobials which are produced by microorganisms only. Penicillin was the first antibiotic produced, and it inhibits or it kills the microbes. Now, these microbes, that is the bacteria, virus, fungus, these are also called pathogens, and when they enter the body, our body itself has a certain defense mechanism and starts to work against them. Certain secretion in our body, like saliva, tears, nasal secretion, they are the part of the defense system of our body only. When these microorganisms they enter our body, through these secretions of our body, either they are killed or their entry is inhibited. But sometimes, if in our body defense mechanism there is a breach, there is some problem with the defense mechanism of our body itself, then there is need of taking certain antimicrobials which will kill these microorganisms. So, the first antimicrobial that we studied is antibiotics, and the first antibiotic produced was penicillin. The antibiotics may be broad spectrum antibiotics also. Broad spectrum means they are effective against several type of microorganisms. So these broad spectrum antibiotics, they act against so many type of microorganisms, not only on any one type of microbe but on different or several types of microbes. The second example of antibiotics is chloramphenicol, which is used in the treatment of typhoid or pneumonia. Streptomycin is one more example of antibiotics, which is used in the treatment of tuberculosis. The second category in antimicrobials is antiseptic. Now, antiseptics, as you know, is the one which is applied to the wounds or cuts or ulcers. There is a difference between antiseptics and disinfectants. Antiseptics can be applied to the living tissues, that is, to the human body. These antiseptics could be applied to the wounds, cuts, and ulcers in the body. Example is Dettol, boric acid, or hydrogen peroxide also. While disinfectants are those antimicrobials, they also kill microorganisms, but they are not applied to the living tissues. This is a major difference between the antiseptic and disinfectants. So these disinfectants, they are not applied to the living tissues, and in fact they are used to clean floor, tiles, drains, etc. That is, they are used to clean the floor, tiles, or the toilets. And example is phenol. The 1% phenol is used as a disinfectant. So the major difference you have to learn between them, that this could be applied to the human tissues, while disinfectants is used to clean floor, tiles, they cannot be applied to the human tissues. So with this, we end with all the classification of the drugs in this chapter. Later on, we'll come to the next part of the chapter in the next session. Thank you.